You're sitting in a fluorescent-lit waiting room on a plastic chair that squeaks every time you shift your weight. There's a clipboard in your lap with a pen chained to it, because apparently, at this level, they assume you'll steal a 99-cent pen. A television bolted to the wall plays daytime court shows on mute. And somewhere behind a bulletproof glass partition, a receptionist you'll never learn the name of just told you the intake fee is $250, cash or card, before anyone even looks at your case. You believed the law was the same for everyone. You were taught that in school, right? Blind justice, the scales, all of it. But the truth is, the law is a product. And like any product, the version you get depends entirely on what you can pay. Let me walk you through the whole board, floor by floor, because once you see how it actually works, you can never unsee it. And that's exactly what makes you dangerous. Level 1. You have $0 or close enough that it doesn't matter. Maybe you got a speeding ticket you can't afford, or a landlord who's evicting you, or a collections agency calling your phone 6 times a day. So you do what people at this level do. You Google. You find a legal aid clinic with a waitlist 3 weeks long, or a website that promises free consultation in bold letters and then 45 minutes into a phone call with a paralegal informs you that your case isn't the type they take. What they mean is, your case doesn't have money in it. Here's the mechanic nobody explains to you. Lawyers at the bottom of the market don't get paid by you. They get paid by volume, by the county, by contingency, by whatever crumb the system throws them. So your problem, the thing that's keeping you up at 3 in the morning, is to them a file number in a stack of 200. You are not a client. You are inventory. And the cruelest part is, you'll walk out of that office genuinely grateful, thanking a person who spent 9 minutes on you because when you have nothing, 9 minutes of a professional's attention feels like a gift. It isn't. It's the bare minimum, priced accordingly. Level 2. Now you've got something. Maybe 40,000, maybe 80. A house with a little equity, a car that's paid off, a 401k you're afraid to touch. You're the middle. And the middle is where the legal industry makes its steady, boring, reliable fortune. You need a will, or you're getting divorced, or you're buying a house and the closing needs a signature. So you find a real firm this time. Nice sign out front, a lobby with a coffee machine and actual chairs with cushions. A lawyer in a decent suit shakes your hand and calls you by your first name, and it feels good. It feels like you've arrived. Here's what's happening under the surface. This firm bills you by the hour, and the hour is the most beautiful invention in the history of professional services because the meter runs whether or not anything useful is happening. That email they sent you? 0.3 hours. That phone call where they explained something you already understood? 0.5. The reviewing documents line item that appears on your invoice like clockwork? You will never know what they reviewed or for how long, and you will never ask because you're intimidated, and they know you're intimidated. At this level, you pay for the appearance of care. 300 an hour buys you politeness, a returned phone call within 2 business days, and the quiet sense that someone competent is handling it. What it does not buy you is urgency. You are a good, dependable revenue stream, and revenue streams are not meant to be resolved quickly. They're meant to flow. Level 3. Something changed. You sold a business, or you climbed high enough that your compensation package has letters in it now. RSUs, options, a number with commas that used to feel imaginary. Call it 2, 3, 5 million in net worth. And suddenly, the way lawyers talk to you shifts in a way you can physically feel. The senior partner takes the meeting now, not the associate. They come to your office instead of making you sit in their lobby. Someone offers you sparkling or still water before you've even sat down, and it's poured into an actual glass. The language changes too. They stop saying, "This will cost," and start saying, "We'll take care of the structure." Because at this level, you're no longer buying hours, you're buying strategy. They're not just reacting to your problems anymore, they're anticipating them, setting up an LLC here, a trust there, a little architecture around your money so it's harder to touch and easier to grow. And here's the reframe that most people at level 3 miss entirely, the thing that separates the ones who keep climbing from the ones who plateau. The service didn't get better because you got smarter or more deserving. It got better because you became a risk worth protecting and a fee worth chasing. The firm sees a client who will need them for the next 30 years, across acquisitions and estates and the occasional lawsuit. And that long tail of future billings is why the partner suddenly remembers your kids' names. You've stopped being a transaction. You've become an account. And an account gets managed. Level 4. You crossed it now. The threshold nobody tells you about, the one where the whole machine reorganizes itself around you. 10, 20, 50 million. You don't call a lawyer at this level. You have a lawyer, and that possessive matters. There's a man who has your cell number and answers on the second ring at 11 at night on a Sunday from his kid's soccer game, and doesn't sound annoyed, because you are worth more to him than his weekend. You don't get invoices anymore. Not really. You get a relationship, and the relationship gets settled in ways you barely notice. folded into a retainer, absorbed into an annual arrangement, discussed over lunch that he picks up, and then quietly bills back to your family office anyway. Here's what's actually being sold at level 4, and it's the thing people never understand from the outside. You are not buying legal work. You are buying the reordering of reality before it happens. The law stops being a thing that reacts to your life and becomes a thing you build your life around in advance. Your business gets sliced into holding companies across 3 states. Your assets sit in trusts with names that mean nothing, controlled by other trusts, with you as a beneficiary, but not, on paper, an owner of anything at all. A creditor tries to come after you and finds a hall of mirrors. And the beautiful part, the part that makes you smile in the back of the car, is that all of it is completely legal. It was always legal. It was just expensive, and expense was the gate. At this level, you finally see the truth that the plastic chair at level 1 was hiding from you. The law was never blind. It just charges admission to see clearly. And you finally paid it. Level 5, 100 million. And now something almost philosophical happens, something that changes what the word lawyer even means. You don't have a lawyer. You have a floor of them, a firm on retainer whose partners fly to you, and whose entire relationship to your affairs is not defensive, but strategic. They are not there to keep you out of trouble. They are there to help you write the rules that trouble lives under. At this level, the money buys you the thing that seemed impossible at every level below, which is proximity to the pen. Your lawyers know the regulators, played golf with them, hired their former colleagues, will hire them again. When a law is being drafted that might touch your industry, someone in the room who shaped its language once ate dinner at your table. You are no longer subject to the system. You are, in a small but very real way, an author of it. And the tax structure, the estate plan, the layers of entities, they're no longer about protecting a fortune. They're about moving it across generations untouched, about your grandchildren inheriting an empire, and a full team of people whose entire careers exist to keep it whole. The lawsuit that would have destroyed you at level 1 is, at level 5, a line item, a nuisance settled quietly before it ever sees a courtroom, its existence erased with a signature, and a number that doesn't even register on your balance sheet. You are not treated better here. You are treated as a peer of the institution itself. The firm doesn't work for you. The firm works with you, because you have become the kind of client that makes the firm worth having. So here's what I need you to carry out of this. Go back to that fluorescent room, the plastic chair that squeaked, the pen chained to the clipboard, because they assumed you'd steal it. Nothing about you changed on the climb from that room to the floor of lawyers who fly to you on a Sunday. You didn't get smarter. You didn't become more honest or more deserving or more human. The only thing that changed was the number attached to your name and the law. That blind and holy thing they promised you in school bent itself around that number every single step of the way. It was never a set of rules applied equally. It was a menu, and you spent most of your life unable to read past the first page. But you can read the whole thing now. You know the intake fee buys inventory. The hourly rate buys the appearance of care. The retainer buys reality rewritten before it happens. And the top floor buys a seat where the rules get made. That knowledge doesn't require $100 million. It just requires that you stop believing the fairy tale. The scales were always weighted. The only question left is which side of them you decide to stand on. And now, at least, you know there's a choice.